Hey friends, it's Blake from The Link, and we are on our Mainstay #2 with Brad from GoWp. The Link is a space in Nocatee. It's an activity innovation hub that we have all members coming in from different parts of the world. Brad, welcome to Mainstay #2. We're glad to have you here.
Thanks, Blake. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, so we just wanted to ask a few questions as you're new to The Link. What brought your business or organization to The Link to be a part of what we're doing at The Link?
Yeah, I think the first place to start there is just personal reasons. With the pandemic, it was the first opportunity my wife and I have both had to work remote. So we kind of evaluated where we lived. We lived in the Atlanta area. We love the coast. We used to live at the coast. And so we kind of looked up and down and decided on Nocatee first and foremost. Kind of ticked all the boxes. So we decided here, but then in looking at Nocatee and figuring out what I wanted to do with my business and where I wanted to be, the Link was just so appealing. So I personally have worked in a lot of like co-work spaces in the Atlanta area. I've had my own office, multi-office, so I've done all of that. And the best place for me is a private office with co-work, but being around other businesses in a co-work type facility. And this is that plus so much more, with the emphasis on also like kids camps and other activities and full family events. And so it's just crazy appealing to me.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're a veteran to the co-working space, and Atlanta is an amazing place for restaurants and stuff. But I'm like you, I always find myself gravitating to the ocean and the coast. So would you mind explaining a little bit about your business?
Yeah, so I own a business called GoWp. For those that you may not know, WP is WordPress, so Go WordPress. And so WordPress is a CMS that powers the web essentially. So it's open source software that businesses build websites. They use that to build websites. And what we do is we kind of are a layer on top of that. So we are an outsourced service provider for digital agencies that use WordPress.
Huge. Every marketer knows WordPress is major.
Yeah, it powers so much of the web now, and it's only increasing. I mean, I saw a report, I think it's WP Engine put something out a week or two ago. It's like WordPress kind of powers a $500 billion micro industry within, especially e-commerce.
Because WordPress has been around so long, is a lot of what you're doing have to do with kind of helping companies that have had WordPress websites for years and just bringing them to the next level. And because obviously there's a lot of new products and solutions, but
absolutely, it evolves quickly, but it's very much kind of a wholesaler is a way to distinguish. So we work with the creators and the creative companies that are building websites, and so what we do is we essentially there's three components to GoWp. The first is staff augmentation. So if someone needs a digital agency needs a dedicated resource, so if they need a WordPress developer to come on in a part-time capacity, 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, we place that developer. We take someone that is full-time with us and we put them on an assignment with the digital agency. We're expanding beyond dedicated developers, and we're also placing copywriters, and we're going to be placing designers as well. So really anything that an agency needs, and we do have some project management placements already, and that's been working out really well. So that's the dedicated placement side or staffing side of what we do. The second component is the outsourced services. So if a digital agency doesn't want to bring someone else on, but they don't want to be doing what can essentially be important, but low value work, they don't want to be updating WordPress. They don't want to be.
So many people on a team, right? So
that's exactly right. Yeah. So they outsource that to us, and then we have specific processes where we will maintain. For example, on our maintenance service, if we are updating WordPress, we take screenshots of 20 pages of the website. Our system updates a plugin, then we take after screenshots to make sure that a plugin update has not visually broken something on a website. So things like that. We do maintenance, we do content edits, we do page builds for the customer. So that's the outsourced service. And then the other, this has been huge during the pandemic, is just giving digital agency owners, which can be a freelancer. It can be two people that came together, a designer and developer, to start an agency, or it can be a big agency with multiple locations. What we found during the pandemic, they're really have always been digital businesses. They work remotely, their teams work remotely, but giving them a sense of community and a place to come for training, for camaraderie just within their industry. We do a lot of community and training events as well.
Yeah, so a lot of what we're trying to do is cultivate entrepreneurship in the link, innovation. I mean, I think that's probably one of the things that drew you into the space. Do you have any advice, somebody starting a business from your experience, that you would give to them, or tips or tricks of the trade that you would say, hey, this worked for me when I was starting my business, it might work for you?
Yeah, I do. And I am excited also with the link. What I've found in other, like in just my own network, sometimes it's good to get outside of WordPress, and it's good to see how other businesses, because I didn't even envision that we would have a staffing component at some point, right? When we were just doing it, we were strictly doing like WordPress maintenance and content edits. And we've kind of evolved as the need arises and our customers say, this is something we need help with. So being in a facility like the link, where you have other types of businesses, maybe it's a strict service, maybe it's a productized service, maybe it's a product, maybe there is so much value in that, and being around other entrepreneurs that are in other. So I'm very excited about that. And the other thing is, as far as advice goes, I would say embrace adversity. Like that's been huge for us. Every single period of growth, of major growth that we have had as a business, has always followed some type of crisis or adversity. And so you need to get in a mindset, instead of things are tough, this is bad, I'm going to give up, or I'm going to do something different, I'm going to change embrace that. Yeah, embrace it and look for the opportunities. It's uncomfortable. We don't but I've gotten to now where I live for that, and I've had vendors pull the rug out from under us, and it will be like, okay, I think we have to build this ourselves now because we don't have an option to do that. And we ended up building that technology, and then one whole component of what we do is built on that now. And so it's embrace adversity. It's huge.
I think that's so important. And I was talking with a good friend the other day, and we were talking about kind of how in life you normally see kind of that climbing factor, but then you see one of those graphs or memes online where it's like, this is actually how you get to success. And I'm like, that's kind of what you're talking about is,
yes.
But when you're on that dip, you're kind of like, wow, maybe I'm supposed to pivot and do something different. Like a lot of us have that self-reflection, but if you stay devoted to it through those dips, it actually makes you stronger to be a leader, to be somebody who has a successful business on the top end. But it's hard to see that when you're in it, right? It's easy to read a book about success or hear it from an advisor, but I think that's a really cool point.
So I would say so much of what we do is solving pain, right? We're solving pain for our customers, and it's hard to solve that pain unless you've experienced that. So being able to kind of move that into it, like, hey, let's make this a profitable service or tweak our service to address this pain point.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of companies like yours looking for places you think similar to the link? Obviously, co-working is a factor, but kind of bringing in this holistic lifestyle. You mentioned earlier, like the kids camps, and we're going to have activities for adults and stuff. It's kind of a whole new way to do ecosystem. It's really bringing back, I feel like in a way, that small village, where everybody knows the store owner next door. And then you're kind of, going to an activity or an event, and it's just right there rather than kind of being, spread out or online.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. With our business, we have 40 plus employees, and we're all remote. Everyone's remote. So the idea that Lucas, our kind of CTO, our technical lead, can join a co-work space where he is and be around people and get that type of support. Yes, as a business owner, to be able to join the link, and I have my distributed team, but to have the support locally and to be able to have coffee with people and to have those kind of serendipitous conversations. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's huge. And I think as we come out of the pandemic, I think our industry, not just the kind of WordPress specifically, but even tech in general, has been doing a lot of this for a long time. But I think even more businesses will be using this kind of hub and spoke type model where it's more hybrid. Maybe they have several hubs that their business is located out of, but they get that in person that helps get around a whiteboard, have coffee, and help drive the business in other ways. Whereas it used to just be in a formal office that everybody had to come into, and that's no fun. So I think places like the link are going to be drivers of the new way that people work.
Yeah, I mean, that's music to my ears. I love working remote. I mean, we traveled for a month out of the year this year during the pandemic just to work remote because, we were working at home. We're like, we might as well go see some friends in a great place. But there is something unique about getting in a room, like you said, with a whiteboard and a team and just saying, okay, how do we get this done? How do we collectively come together? And, you bring back that social element. So on one hand, it's like the remote is amazing to be at home and with your family and you can engage and you're saving time on that commute and all that kind of stuff. But here in Nocatee, we built this little space and we want to continue to build where people feel like they have a destination to come to. Our hope is that nobody ever gets in the car or rides their bike or however they want to commute to the link here and goes, oh, I got to go to work today. We want them to come and go, this is going to be exciting because I know that there's going to be people with an exchange of ideas, different things happening where we can plug in and build my business, build my community, build my family, everything kind of in this cohesive environment. And we're going to learn a lot along the way. It's a new adventure. It's, something that hasn't really been done before. There's formats that are similar, but we're excited to kind of be the first, bringing in the immersion room and this video wall lounge area and the activity studios and stuff. I mean, there's so much to look forward to. I just can't wait to have you in the building and be able to engage in person. And obviously you can tell I'm kind of a high energy caffeinated guy. So I'm sure we'll have some robust conversations about WordPress, but then a ton of other stuff too. So I would love to know if there's anything else you'd like to share about your business. We want to make sure that you're connecting with both the members within the link, but then the local community of Nocatee, Northeast Florida. Like you said, you're new to the space. Like you made a decision to move from where you're at down here to join this community. And now you're plugging in right away by investing and becoming a part of the link as a member.
Yeah. And something with WordPress that I think is really conducive to the format of the link is WordPress is a very yes, it's global, big global community that is involved in it's an open source project. So it's volunteers that make WordPress better. But there's also a local component. There are individual local WordPress meetups where the job is to have a monthly meetup and you invite people from the community into the space to be able to let's talk about plugins today. Let's talk about the changes that are being made in the next version of WordPress. And so it's teaching and training and sharing and working together as a community, and a place like the link is already set up so well to serve the community in that way. So I think that's really exciting.
I love that, WordPress meetups and, just to be a fly on the wall. I mean, every marketer has to know how to at least publish a blog to WordPress. I mean, at a bare minimum, but then the expansive view of everything that goes into it to scale a business. And kind of what you mentioned before that I was thinking about is, I've done a ton of freelance and a lot of companies will come up to you and say, we just need a website. We know this agency will do it for this huge agency will do it for this, but they'd rather, like you said, connect with the creators and then outsource the things that, I wouldn't know how to do. So I already see a need for what you do in a major way, especially in a place like the link that's going to be launching so many businesses. Like that is the goal as well. And sometimes that gets sidelined a little bit while we're having conversations about the activity space and the co-working, whatever, but the actual innovation hub and the startup and accelerators and stuff, we want to bring that here where people can bring ideas, whether it's a kid that, is selling baked goods and wants to figure out how to scale his business locally, or it's, somebody that's built and sold 30 companies that wants to help somebody else. I think that's what's going to be really special about this space is what Raghu, the founder, always says is this cross-pollination of ideas. And I think that's what I get excited about because I love versatility. I mean, like you said, we work in our niches every day. And sometimes it's like, you got to get outside of it. And it's not that, you build a career for a reason and you love that, but there's something fun about challenging your own status quo, the way you think about things. And I think when we all get in a room, when we have some of these events, these meetups, because you're one of many parts in the spoke and the spoke of the wheel, and it's like, I think it's really exciting to see all these businesses come together where it's going to really fill out how we roll together. And I think it's going to be super, super exciting. How can people learn about your business if they want to find you? Where's the best place to find your business?
Yeah, GoWp.com is the best place to go. I'm on Twitter. I'm not super active on Twitter, but Brad Morrison on Twitter, LinkedIn profile as well. I would say if you're a digital agency, though, we have a very active Facebook group. So it's a group called the Niche Agency Owners, GoWp Niche Agency Owners Group. And I mean, we do a Friday afternoon happy hour every single week where we do a digital Zoom call and have a drink and hang out. And so that's a great place to go if you're a WordPress professional or a digital agency.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. All right, so Brad, we'll try something new. What's your top 2-3 reasons that you think somebody should join the link?
I think the sense of community is awesome. Something that's one. So the second thing is the energy, not just the community, but the energy of it, which I can already sense from having my daughter in camp, which is right. And so there is an energy there. And then I love that it is kind of focused on the whole. It's not just this specific type of entrepreneur or business owner. It's also the business owner and their family, their children. There's lots of events that are going on, which is really great. So I love the way that it serves the whole community and not just a part of it.
I love that, man. You're getting me excited. This is why we have these conversations. It's awesome too to know your kids are in camp and are enjoying it and loving it. And that's, what we want. We want parents to be able to work and stay busy, and their kids do the same thing and learn and be productive as well, and meet people. I think during post-COVID, everybody's really excited to get their kids out. I know I am, for my daughter to meet, hang out, and learn. And so that's really exciting. But I want to thank you for your time. We know you're really busy, and we want to invite you in the future back on to Mainstay Minutes. Maybe we'll do a follow-up and go a little bit more in depth in what you do. But thanks so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I love the idea of this. And I can't wait to watch the others, to meet others in the link as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.